The hypocrisy that runs rampant in British politics is no longer something we can afford to ignore. Every day, politicians who claim to represent the people continue to flaunt their privileges, taking their free perks while hiding behind excuses that no one is buying anymore. Just last week, we saw a spectacle that should be absolutely unacceptable to the British public. Keir Starmer's attempt to justify his regular trips to the Arsenal director's box, as though his entitlement to attend high-profile events is so inherent that it simply cannot be questioned. And if that wasn't enough, we now have the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, casually attending a Six Nations game with her boyfriend, ex-MP Sam Terry, with zero security presence. The sheer audacity of his behavior demands scrutiny. It's time for politicians, particularly in the Labour Party, to stop using the excuse of security concerns as a free pass to indulge in the perks of power. Let's be clear, the people are fed up with the elitism masquerading as concern for public safety. Starmer's claim that he needs to sit in a box at football matches due to security risks is laughable. Are we really to believe that a man who claims to represent the working class in Britain can only interact with the public from behind the protective walls of VIP suites? It's an insult to every single voter who believes in a level playing field. Reeves, too, seems to think that her supposed security detail justifies her attendance at concerts, as though the average citizen doesn't face their own safety concerns without the luxury of a personal protection team. Of course, no one should deny legitimate security needs, but the fact that these politicians repeatedly use this excuse in such a transparent way is nothing short of offensive. And now, Angela Rayner, widely seen as a key figure in Starmer's shadow cabinet, completely destroys this entire narrative. After all, how can anyone claim that security is such a serious issue if the Deputy Prime Minister can attend a major rugby event in the stands without any form of protection? What security threats were present at that Six Nations game? None that we know of. Rayner, along with her soulmate, Sam Terry, relaxed with a drink in hand, mingling among the crowd like any other fan. If this isn't proof that these so-called security concerns are nothing more than a convenient, self-serving excuse, I don't know what is. What's even more striking is the timing of this revelation. Labour's supposed commitment to representing ordinary people, to being the party of the working class, is built on a platform of equality and fairness. Yet, day after day, party members demonstrate their contempt for the very principles they claim to uphold. How are they supposed to relate to the struggles of everyday citizens when they routinely distance themselves from the very people they claim to serve, hiding behind their expensive tickets and luxurious accommodations? Let's break this down. The Labour Party is selling an image of itself as the alternative to the Tories. But when you look closer, you see a disturbing pattern of self-entitlement that mirrors the worst excesses of the Conservative elite. In truth, whether it's Starmer in the director's box or Rayner enjoying a rugby game without a care in the world, they're showing us their true colors, a political class that feels above reproach and refuses to live by the same standard they impose on the rest of us. Their excuses are growing thinner by the day, and it's clear they're relying on a complacent public to continue to buy their lies. It's not just about football tickets, concert invitations, or rugby games. It's about a systemic problem within our political class that sees privilege as a right, not a responsibility. The Labour Party may talk a big game about wanting to fight inequality and support working people, but their actions suggest otherwise. How can anyone take them seriously when they refuse to hold themselves to account for their own actions? Why should the public believe that they can bring about real change when they can't even refrain from indulging in the very excesses they rail against? Moreover, it's not just Labour politicians engaging in this kind of behavior. We've seen it from both sides of the aisle. The truth is, this is a norm in British politics, and that's precisely why so many voters are increasingly disillusioned with the entire system. We've got a government that takes care of itself while offering empty promises to those who struggle to make ends meet. And now, in Labour's case, we're seeing the same pattern emerge. A party that claims to stand for fairness, but whose leaders act as though they're above the very people they seek to represent. Let me be clear. This is not about personal attacks on politicians or their right to enjoy a bit of leisure time. This is about accountability. If these politicians want us to trust them with the future of the country, they must start by leading with integrity. They must begin by setting an example and show that they understand the real issues faced by ordinary people. Starmer and his cabinet must realize that they are not above the very people they claim to serve, and their blatant disregard for public perception is a huge problem. Until they hold themselves to the same standards they preach, all of Labour's lofty promises will remain just that, promises, without substance. And unless they begin to understand the depth of their disconnection from the public, their so-called vision for change will ring hollow. It's time for them to stop hiding behind excuses and start being accountable to the people they claim to represent. The public is watching, and they are no longer willing to accept the hypocrisy that has defined British politics for far too long.